now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book The Man Crisis comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today. Some women out here complain about everything and then get upset when they wind up with nothing. And many of these women who go out here and complain about everything wind up with nothing because oftentimes these women are just impossible to please. Now, a lot of women out here, they will have a good man and a life that God has provided for them that is abundant. However, they don't appreciate what God has provided for them with a quality husband and a great life, and because they are not content spiritually with what they have, they go out here complaining about everything. And as they're out here complaining about everything, what many of these women do is they go out here and try to attach an emotional hose to their man. And the reason why they want to attach an emotional hose to their man is because they look to the man to go out here and solve their problems. However, there's no way that the man can solve any of the problems because the problems are internal to the woman. Now, many of these kinds of women, as they're looking to attach this emotional hose to this man, what they want to do is foster a codependent relationship with that man, and they want to foster a codependent relationship with that man in order to try to get power over that man. And as they're attaching that emotional hose, as they're making their complaints, what they want to do is go out here and foster a crap test to see how far this man will go to please her. Now, many of the simps out here, what they will do when they hear the woman complaining is try to go out here and try to please the woman by going to the impossible lengths that this woman is making demands that they do. So when these women start complaining, what the simp will do is he will start trying to jump through the woman's hoops, making every effort to please her. However, what the simp doesn't understand is that there is no pleasing this woman, and what she's actually doing again in this crap test is not looking to get any sort of satisfaction from whatever thing that she's complaining about. No, what she's looking to do is try to sate her insecurities by trying to see how far a man will go to jump through her hoops. And as the simp looks to jump through the hoops for this woman, what happens to this simp is he winds up violating many of the boundaries as related to himself, because as this woman makes her complaints, she then escalates things as related to those complaints, asking for more and more impossible things for this man to do. And sadly, many men, as they're listening to this woman who is complaining out here, are trying to give her everything. What they wind up doing is wind up losing themselves. And what happens with many of these simps is eventually they wind up shutting down mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, because this woman is basically sucking all of the energy out of that man. And as they're sucking all the energy out of that man by making more and more unrealistic and impossible demands, what happens is that man just starts to get stressed. He starts to get tired because he's made every effort to try to please this woman by giving her everything, but all she's doing is taking everything out of that man because he's making every effort to please her, but she's never happy at all. And again, she's not happy because what makes her happy isn't the things that this man does or the effort that he has. It is her insecurities that keep driving her, and it's her insecurities that make things impossible for that relationship to continue, because usually what happens is many men out here, what happens to them is they realize that this woman is impossible to please. And when they realize that this woman is impossible to please, what they do is they wind up leaving. And they wind up leaving because this woman, you give her everything, and as you try to give her everything, nothing ever satisfies her. And again, nothing is satisfying her because she's got all of these insecurities inside of her. And because she's got these insecurities inside of her, this is why she can't find any happiness as related to this relationship. She can't find any happiness because she's not happy with herself. And what she wants to, and the only way she feels that she has power is by going out here and getting a man to go out here and try to please her, but there is no pleasing her. So every guy who tries to give her everything, they wind up with nothing as related to themselves because they burn themselves out. And eventually, as they get burnt out, many of these men just shut down. And you'll still hear this woman complaining, "You don't do anything for me." But the whole thing is, she doesn't appreciate anything that you do. And she can't appreciate anything because she doesn't value people. That is a big problem with many of these women who are constantly complaining. They don't appreciate the partner that they have. They don't appreciate the man that they have. And again, these women are extremely ungrateful. And again, they're ungrateful because they don't love the man that they're with. They don't even love themselves. All they love is the attention that they're receiving. And because they're insecure, you cannot give them affection or attention. All they want to do is keep drama going. And again, for them, drama, as related to things, makes them feel any sort of self-worth. But that self-worth is based in their low self-esteem. And because they have low self-esteem, they think that the only way that they can find self-worth is by tearing down someone. So this is how a woman who has everything winds up with nothing, because instead of trying to build up the man that they're with, they just go out here continuing to try to tear that man down with constant complaints, constant criticism, and constant verbal abuse, and seeing this man scurry like a rat. This is how they get off on the power. But the whole thing is that if you're tearing your man down, that's a negative reflection of you. And again, eventually at a point, a man reaches a point where he realizes that this woman is not going to be a good partner for him. And eventually what happens is they look at this woman and say, hey, I can't please this woman. I can't make this woman happy. I can't satisfy this woman. No matter what I do, I bring my best efforts to the table, and it's never good enough. I bring my best efforts to the table, and it's always constantly getting criticized. I bring my best efforts to the table, and she's always crapping on everything that I do. So what a man does in that situation is he oftentimes winds up cutting ties with this woman. And that's how a woman who has everything oftentimes winds up with nothing. And she winds up with nothing because she does not appreciate what the man that the Most High has provided for her. He doesn't appreciate the abundant life that the Most High provided for her. No, she's always looking out at the grass at the other side of the field and talking about how much greener it is. She's always looking at what somebody else has. She's always looking at what some other man has, and she doesn't appreciate what she has been blessed with. She's the kind of woman who, again, while a man has making six figures and living very well and giving her a nice home, will sit and getting her emotional needs met by a man, will sit there and talk about how this man isn't doing anything for her, and even worse, going out here and talking about what another man has, disrespecting the very man she's involved with, disrespecting him because here's a man who's going out here putting in work to give her, again, all of the amenities that many women would dream of having. But you'll have a woman who will sit there and complain about everything. And again, not understanding you are disrespecting the very man you're involved with, because if you complain about what that man is providing for you and giving you isn't good enough, then you're going to eventually wind up losing it. This is what many women out here do not understand. A lot of them are so busy caught up in Madison Avenue and Hollywood telling them about these ideals of what a man gives them, that they don't appreciate what the man is giving them in their lives. And again, they're out here complaining about everything, not understanding how it's easy to basically lose what you have. Now, I'm not saying that women have a right to go out here and make a valid complaint about something going wrong as related to how they're treated. And again, you have a right to make legitimate complaints, but once a man works towards solving the problem, you should be moving on. But there are a group of women out here who, no matter what a man does, a man can go out here, buy them the finest home, go out here, buy them the best clothes, go out here and give them the very best in life, and those same women will be sitting there complaining that things aren't good enough because they have imagined an ideal in their minds based on things from Madison Avenue and Hollywood as related to this ideal life, and again, not appreciating what this man has done. And then there are predators who want to go out here and think they can get a better deal. And again, as these women complain about everything, many of them wind up on the road to having nothing, and they wind up at the end of the day with nothing because they didn't appreciate the man that they had in their lives. So they'll sit there and then after they lose everything, sit there and lament, this man, he wasn't no good at all, trying to be indignant and deny that they threw away a good opportunity. Then there will be others who will say, there will be another man coming around. But why would another man want to come around a woman who is constantly complaining? Because a man is a builder, and as a builder, if he sees somebody not appreciating what another man has worked on, then he knows that anything that he works on with her will not be respected. And if he sees that anything that he builds will not be the other man built won't be respected, then he won't go out here and get involved with that woman, because men want to go out here and elevate women who help them build, not deal with a woman who looks to tear down everything that they work on. So a lot of women out here, they just are, as I see it, in some way spoiled, and they get spoiled out here and they don't appreciate what a man has for them. And it's not until they wind up losing a good man that they realize what they lost. And it's not until they lose that man and have nothing that they realize that they were blessed with everything. And again, that's really sad, because a lot of times there are good brothers out here and good dudes out here who want to give a woman the very best. But because these women, again, get spellbound and mesmerized by Madison Avenue, Hollywood, their friends, and want to try to chase clout and try to elevate their social status with other people, they don't appreciate the man in their lives who is trying to give them the very best. And because they don't appreciate the man who is trying to give them the very best, they wind up missing out on what is great, or they don't appreciate what they have that is great right now, and they're not grateful for what God has given them through the man that they were provided with in God's order. And because they don't appreciate what they have, you have many women who are just sitting there in places like Bus Downtown, sitting there lamenting, I had this great life, I had this great man, I had everything great. And again, they don't appreciate what they have, and they don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. And that is the saddest part about women who have wound up with everything, like a good man, a nice house, a great family. They don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. And that is the saddest part about a lot of women out here. They have everything, but it's sadly not until they have nothing that they understand, oh man, I had a good man, I had a great marriage, I had a great home, but because I was out here listening to stupid friends or jealous family, I wound up throwing away everything, or because I just kept complaining, I kept complaining, hoping to get better, and now I have nothing because the guy who I was with just decided to walk away from me and decided to walk away for good. Because there comes a point where people stop trying to please you, and really, when it comes to smart men, when they see you start complaining about everything, that's when they decide to offer you nothing. Because smart men out here, when they see women pulling the I'm going to complain about everything crap test, that's when they set a boundary with that woman. And they set a boundary because they know that if they keep trying to please her, she's just going to keep moving the goalpost. And that's where they're going to wind up in a relationship that's going nowhere. So many smart men just wind up cutting ties with these kinds of women because they know that they're impossible to please. And because they know that this woman is impossible to please, what they do is go out here and try to leave these women alone, because they understand it's just a waste of time to try to go out here and please a person who is not pleased with themselves. Because trying to please somebody who is not pleased with themselves, again, this is an impossible task. And with it being a completely impossible task, smart men understand that they can't give a woman anything who doesn't appreciate anything, because someone who doesn't appreciate what you're doing, you can't give them anything, and the best thing to do is leave them with the nothing that they've got, because they wouldn't appreciate anything that you do for them. And this is why a lot of women who had everything wind up with nothing, because they just complain and complain and complain to the point where this guy just gets tired of trying to chase her as related to trying to please her. And as he gets tired of trying to please her and appease her, what he does is put a period at the end of things and decides to move on. And usually smart men, when they see that, okay, I've made one or two efforts and it's not getting me anywhere, what they do is put a period at the end of the relationship and say, look, you just want to keep complaining. You're just a storm cloud every day. And they realize that life is too precious to have your energy sucked out of you in a codependent situation with an impossible partner. So what they do is cut ties, and this is why all of those women are sitting in places like Bus Downtown complaining about having everything, as they sit in their apartment with absolutely nothing at all. Now, if you want to learn how to avoid becoming a woman who winds up with nothing after complaining about everything, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashware's The iBookstore and Google Play. And if you want to learn why so many black women are single, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And there you can learn about more women who complained about everything, who are currently having nothing at all. And if you want to see me make more videos about relationships, you can send a donation to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.